Hi, my name's Dee. This year, when we think about our teaching, we're going to take a hybrid approach to teaching, where some stuff will be online, including lectures for some courses, and other stuff will be in person. And even if your lectures are in person, recordings are also likely to be available online. Now, using recorded lectures is a relatively new way of doing things, so I wanted to give you a few tips about how best to use recorded lectures. Now, in times before lecture capture, and I'm thinking recent years, not in my day, which frankly is a whole different story, students would show up at the lecture and listen, and maybe take notes or flick through the handout. Sometimes there'd be stuff you missed because you drifted off, and sometimes you might even have left the lecture not really having a good overall picture. So you went away, you read the notes, you looked at the slides, you read a book, you talked to your friends, you talked to your supervisor, and then hopefully everything fell into place. You could see the woods for the trees, as it were. Now, with recorded lectures, there's a massive temptation to watch the lecture, rewatch, pause, rewind, rewatch, pause, and, well, you get the picture. So here are a few tips. Now, firstly, I suggest you watch the whole thing as if it were live. Get an overview of what the lecture is actually about. Avoid the temptation to watch it over and over. It's not intended to be used like that. If you've drifted off in the lecture and missed something, just rewatch the bit that you missed. You don't need to watch the whole thing again. While it's tempting to watch the lecture on double time, that's not always a great way to engage with the lecture. Remember that not every word in the lecture is important. It's the overall concepts and ideas that you should come away with. You can fill in the gaps by reading the notes in the textbooks later on. The lecture is just the starting point. Now, it's generally not a good idea to binge watch a set of lectures. It's not Netflix. Aim to watch the lecture according to the schedule, and that way you're going to be properly prepared for discussions, supervisions, and other bits of teaching, like practical classes. Now, if you have watched the lecture, you've read your notes and looked in a textbook, and you still haven't fully grasped what's going on, ask your supervisor, or get in touch with your lecturer if your supervisor can't help. Now, having said all that, we know that people learn in different ways, and you should use a learning style that suits you. If you haven't already discovered what that is, experiment a bit and find out what's best for you. But really do be mindful about how you use recorded lectures. They're really just a part of the learning pathway. Thanks.